4 reasons why I prefer Uber over a taxi.
Welcome to Growing the Seed, the podcast where we document the steps we take to build the Sowing Seed podcast, the business, and the brand. We'll share what works, and we'll share the challenges. Now, from the studio on top of a hill in a very, very remote location, here's your host, Matt Miller.
Spent a bunch of time on the road here over the last couple of years, and there have been many occasions where, a taxi or catching an Uber was the most simple and, made the most sense to do versus a rental car or what have you. There's 4 main reasons why I have almost exclusively gone to Uber over the taxi, whereas just a few years ago, I would have been hailing a taxi everywhere I went. The first is convenience. The second is the cost and the payment method. The third is the cleanliness. And the fourth is the predictability. When it comes to convenience, granted, there are many times where there's a taxi stand right outside the airport or right outside wherever I am at the hotel. But there's something about being able to pick up that app, hail an Uber utilizing the app, and be able to plan for when the Uber is going to arrive, who is arriving, know the type of car, the driver's license number, the name of the driver, etc. Couldn't be more convenient. I know there are some times where I'm not saving time because the taxi is right there, but there's just something about having that control and having access to that data that has been big time appealing. Second is the cost or the auto payment. Now, I don't know for sure in every case that Uber is going to be cheaper, but I do know this. Last time I had to catch a cab, it was out of the DFW airport to an Airbnb I was staying at overnight before I flew back out the next day. I hop in the cab. There are stickers all over the windows, and one of them is partially ripped off. And I asked the guy, so, approximately what it's going to cost. And the number was just out of this world. And he starts quoting me all these fees. He's like, well, there's this fee, and it's right there on the window. And then there's the fuel surcharge, and then there's this and that. Well, the cost was going to be an extra 30 or 40% higher than an Uber would have cost me. And in a shady fashion, in my opinion, these added fees or costs, are introduced to you after you're in the car, after you're already on the road. And so I'm just, in today's day and age, that's not necessary, and would prefer to not deal with it and prefer to not be taken advantage of in that way. I know the taxi guys have their money. I know they've got the way that they've done things for years, but in order for them to play in today's space, they're going to need to change. And at least up to this point in time, that industry does not appear to have changed a whole lot. Cleanliness, huge. Most taxis, look junky, run down, dirty. They've obviously been used for a long period of time. Every single Uber I've ever hailed, except for one, and it was the car of a smoker, and it smoked, and it smelled like a smoker or smoke the entire ride that I took it in the Midland, Odessa area. The car is immaculate. The driver is oftentimes offering you something to drink or a snack or gum. They've got pleasant music playing that me as the rider want to listen to, not what the driver is preferring to listen to. The majority of the Uber drivers are going out of their way because they know that they're going to get feedback after each and every ride, and that feedback impacts their ability to serve and to make money doing what they do. Finally, is just the predictability of it all. Once you know that Uber is in the city where you're going to be, literally it's just a matter of getting off a plane or stepping out of a hotel, pulling up your app, and hailing that Uber and knowing exactly when they'll arrive, being able to watch the car on the map come to you, and then once again, just knowing who you're getting, what kind of vehicle, that type of thing, versus standing out on a street corner hoping to find a taxi or hoping to flag one down when half of them already have a rider in them or whatever. If you haven't tried Uber or Lyft, I highly encourage you doing so. One added benefit is just the simplicity of payment. The fact that there's no cash involved. You have your payment information programmed in the Uber app, and once the ride is completed, the rider or my app automatically pays through Uber's payment system the driver directly, along with any tip I may decide to add if I choose to do so. Versus cash, versus in many cases today, the only payment method with a debit card or a credit card is the taxi driver pulling out their smartphone, getting their little Square or PayPal scanner, and them literally scanning your card into their own phone, which I'm sure that there's tons of data issues and security issues that we should all be aware of, but also it's just a fact that in today's day and age there needs to be a better way. So anyway, hope this helps, guys. 4 reasons why I prefer Uber over a taxi. God bless you.
Thanks for listening. Check out our website, sowingseed.net, the Sowing Seed channel on YouTube, and if you got something out of today's podcast, give us a 5-star review on your podcast player of choice. Until next time, go plant the seed you need to succeed.